Hey guys, Hector here from Module 6.1, not originally planned for the course, but I was talking to a client of mine who got an early copy of the course, and as I was teaching him some more details on how to approach girls, and I was thinking more about what are the nuances that maybe they're hard to put into words that I do to get better reactions and have more success when I'm approaching girls. And one of the things that I'll do is I'll approach a girl in a way that's based on her personality. Now, I can read personalities pretty generally well because I've just met so many different types of girls, and it might be the way she dresses, the way she looks. Sometimes I can just tell a girl's personality by her face. Wouldn't know how to explain that to you exactly. It's very hard to explain, but I've just seen it all kind of. Sometimes I'm surprised. But when I was trying to give him that idea for him to use when he's approaching girls, I was like, okay, well, I can't make some database of faces, right, for him to look at, oh, she's got this face, I need to do this. So I broke it down into 4 categories, 2 sets of categories. So there's a high energy approach and a low energy approach. And then there's a serious approach and a playful approach. So they're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain them because that's the module. So when you're going to be going after a girl with a high energy or a low energy approach, and now these are interchangeable. You can be serious and high energy, you're serious and low energy, and playful and high energy, etc. When you go to talk to a girl with a low energy or a high energy, you want to be matching hers, because when you match her energy, it's just going to, if you feel like someone's on your vibe, that should be self-explanatory. You want to have the same energy as her so that she feels more comfortable with you, because comfort is one of the highest goals when it comes to day game, as I've talked about. It's just something that she's not going to expect to happen, you approaching her. It's not necessarily weird or creepy, and I really don't want you to see it that way. Just realize realistically that it is different what you're doing. So if you make her feel comfortable, then the rest of your personality can shine. And as I've went over, these first few seconds of the approach are really crucial to helping the seduction happen, because she's going to make a first impression. She is going to judge you very shallowly on the tonality of your voice, the confidence of your voice, the way you look at her, and the way that you move. She might just immediately reject you no matter what because, I don't know, your pheromones don't smell well, or she's so pissed that she doesn't care about anything around her. There could be a million reasons, but we're going to do our best to get a good reaction. We want to master that open. So when you see that she's in a high energy mood, you're going to want to match that. And if she's low energy, then you want to be that. To some extent, there is also some where she could be serious and be low energy, and then you come in and you're playful and high energy, and then she's sucked into that energy. So if you have a very set personality and you just love to be the way that you are, and you're not very malleable, then of course, you need to express your personality. You still need to play with it and the way that you come off, but you can bring someone onto your energy. I just have noticed that it's much more consistent of result. You're gonna do well with certain types of girls. Is basically how it's gonna happen if you're really stuck in your personality. But if you're a little bit more malleable and you're willing to adjust and be an adapting seducer, which the best seducers are, then you want to see what she's in and match that. So what low energy is going to look like, for instance, if you see her as low energy. She's walking very slow. She seems kind of lethargic with her mannerisms and with her pace, and she's, slow. It feels slow. It looks slow. When you see that, you want to come in speaking slow and moving slow, and your gesture should be slow, your voice. So let me demonstrate that for you right now to the air. I don't have Bianca with me, but this will have to do. So it's beautiful air. Hi. Pause. Wait for her to respond. I saw you over here, and they're really beautiful, and I want to come say hi. I'm Hector. Oh, slow. You see the slowness, you hear the slowness, you feel the slowness. High energy. Excuse me. Hi. I saw you over there, and I thought you were really beautiful, and I want to come say hi. Fast, energetic. If she's walking fast, if she seems in a hurry, you're going to need to give that energy. One, because you don't want her to feel like you're wasting her time, especially because she's in a hurry. But also, you're just going to match her vibe, and it's going to help, I promise. Now, when it comes to being serious or playful, this is a little bit more hard to gauge but once I demonstrate it to you, it'll make sense. So a playful girl is a girl who, you could think of it as a girl who doesn't take herself too seriously. She's more down to earth. She's more bouncy. Maybe she dresses a certain way. We aren't reduced to just those things, but if you put enough of those things together, you can make a judgment of someone, and you'd say, well, they seem pretty playful. They seem pretty down to earth. Whereas a girl who's more serious doesn't necessarily mean she's always got the resting bitch face and she's always giving looks like this, but sometimes it might be evidence of her being very serious. The way that she dresses, if she wears a lot of suits, she looks very prim and proper, right? Because part of it is actually you want to be what she wants, and what she wants is going to be a reflection of who she thinks she is. So even though we are, our personalities are more deep than just this, a lot of times we're going to be dressing and acting in the way that we believe we are, and we're going to want people who are similar to that in some way. So what we're adapting to is not just how she is, but how she sees herself. And what she sees is what she, in herself, is what she wants. Now with a girl who's more serious, the way that you're going to show your seriousness is by being, think of it kind of more James Bondy, more business-like, more like a, fancy entrepreneur or banker might come off. So you see her being serious in her, nice outfit, or, she just takes herself too seriously, whatever it is. You still want to fuck her. So you walk up and you're going to be more professional, courteous. Maybe that's another way to put it. Excuse me. I'm very firm. She turns. I can be slow or fast with it, but excuse me. Hi. I was walking back there and I saw you and I thought you were very beautiful and I want to say hi. I'm Hector. See how I'm more formal with it? That's a better way to put it, maybe. Formal. That formality reflects what it is she wants out of a partner because it's how she sees herself. So when you give that formal kind of, hello, how are you, da-da-da, da-da-da, that body language of chest held high, but you're not wild, you're not coming off boyish and too funny, you take yourself seriously. So be thinking those thoughts too if you're trying to have a more serious mood. And you might want to change the way that you dress. But then pay attention to your fundamentals, your voice, your facial expressions, your movements. And if you make the act seem that way, it will become that way. You become it by acting like it. So that's how you do a serious approach. Now, the not so serious approach, the playful approach, it's on a spectrum, of course, but the more playful approach you're going to be doing with girls who they just seem more down to earth. You could say that they're, this hipster girl, more laid back girl, hippie girl. You have your stereotypes, but she doesn't seem to be so fierce and so professional or so as composed or formal. How she dresses, how she acts, whatever. You see her walking, then you walk up to her and you can say, hi, I saw you over here and I thought you were really beautiful and I want to say hi. I'm Hector. I'm much more playful, I'm much more relaxed, I'm not taking myself so seriously. You can see that there's more expressions on my face and that I'm enjoying it more. Now, that's my favorite way to do it, and I would prefer to always be in that kind of mood. And like I said, you can bring your own personality to it, but when you do match what it is she's looking for, at least in the first few seconds, then you're going to open up the bridge for you to start showing the depth of your personality. But this first moment is going to be superficial. It is superficial by nature because she's going to be making a first impression of you. So don't get caught up on maybe this being fake or maybe you're trying too hard to match her energy. It's just the beginning. Then the rest of the seduction, and you're talking to her and you ask her out, and then when you go on the date, that's where you can see more of the depths of both of your personality. But for now, match her energy levels, and then match if she's playful or she's serious in the way that you express yourself, your vocal tonality, your facial expressions, the way that you dress. Maybe you spend one day and you're going to say, okay, it's serious day, and you're going to dress up nice, and one day it's casual day. And play with these different energies and these different approaches, and then test if it's working on these kinds of girls, and you're going to gain the experience of understanding what kinds of women like what kinds of approaches. Then you'll build up that instinct that I talked about earlier that's really hard to describe, where you can tell what kind of girl she is and then give her the right approach that she needs and that she wants from the man that she's going to date or have sex with or have as a boyfriend or a husband and the future father of her children, whatever your goal is. Okay? So that's how you approach a girl with a certain kind of energy and a certain kind of vibe. And follow this, and I think that you're going to have much more success when you're approaching girls and have much more consistent results. Okay, so Hector Castillo, Poppy, hope you enjoyed the module. Stay tuned for module number 7, where we go over how to actually have a conversation with a girl. And then after that, we're going to go into how to close and take her on a date and get a yes for a date. Okay, cool. See you soon. Ciao.